And welcome. Hopefully everybody is doing well. Don't mind me, I'm just getting the final bits set up over here. How hard is it to set something up straight? That's the question. Welcome. Welcome to another live chat. So, Chris here, coming down from a pretty glorious day on the mountain. We've just had some new powder coming down up in Whistler. Freezing level has been a little bit all over the place. It was actually much better lower down yesterday, and then last night got a little bit of rain down low, and then today kind of rainy snow. And you can see when you're going up on the gondola in the village, green trees, and then a bit of snow, and then just white trees. So yeah, awesome. Hope everybody is doing well. Yeah, I was just riding out with KevBot, Snowboard Pro Camp. I seen he's in the in the live chat. Yeah, everybody drop a line. Tell me where you're coming in from. Tell me how you're doing. Hopefully you're doing well. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and just share the good vibes. And if you guys have any questions about snowboarding related things, life questions related to snowboarding, anything snowboarding related, how you might land a plane on a snowboard, things related to that, then drop a line. And I'm just gonna jump in to some of these questions. Andrew USM is saying he can't stay awake because it's a bit late over here in the UK, but he's gonna catch up. Keep up the good work, mate. Thank you very much, good sir. Pat thought this was gonna be a trap and that I wasn't gonna show up, but I did. Haha. Yeah, because 2 weeks ago, at this time, when I was supposed to be snowboarding, I was doing the most glorious sunset lap up on 7th Heaven with Kevin. Yeah, and I was going to call that video 7th Kevin, and I thought it might be a bit weird, so I just decided to keep it with 7th Heaven. Makes more sense. But I made the last one, I made this one. This is going to be my regular time. If you guys do want to catch a live chat, if you want to bounce some stuff off, you know, just get a little bit zany, wacky, friendly, you know, all that type of stuff. It's coming in at 3:30 p.m. on the Wednesdays, which is 11:30 p.m. UK time, or 6:30 if you're on the East Coast. And if you're in Vanuatu, then I don't know, but I hope it's not too late. West Coast Dabs is saying light up. Thank you, sir. Matisse Cote Crosby saying hello. Louise is saying hello. Louise Hatton, she's part of my bubble. She takes out Dot. She is heading to the gym, I think. Boredom Stu is saying hello. Hello, Boredom, how you doing? Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. West Coast has a smiley face. Rob Fowler, good day from Brisbane. Snowboard Pro Camp coming in, checking out. Gotta get this out soon, real soon. Yeah, I even did a hike up Flute. Flute is kind of one of the younger baby brother peaks of Whistler, and it was great. It's like, it used to be slack country, now it's actually inbounds, but at the moment, being early season, it's not technically, and it's a long and complicated story, but basically it's a great training / dipping your toe into the backcountry area, and I hiked it in my boots, because why would you have a split board when you can hike stuff in your boots and carry your snowboard on your back? That's the question. So yeah, hopefully I'm gonna get this thing out real soon, and I actually just want to do a video on it as well, because it is the most advanced split board ever created. No, it is the first split board that has a spoon, or at least from Jones. It's got the spoon shape on the split. All the other splits before the Solution last year did not have a spoon shape. And yeah, there's no snow gonna stay up. Should I never wet this? What do you think? Man, TJ never wetted his split board and it worked awesome, but it wasn't a Jones, I don't think. And they have their new anti-snow top sheet thing. And I wish I could tell you if it was any good or not, but I haven't tried it. So, no, I haven't. Adam is coming in. He's watching from his room. 30 feet above Snowboard Pro Camp. Well, that's weird. Yeah, because Adam is here in Whistler. I was riding. Adam actually came out on that hike up in Flute, and it was awesome. And he's staying. I'm not going to give away his room number, otherwise the fans will descend. But it is above Splits. All right, some love going on today. Yeah, so I was saying this crazy fog today. I found all sorts of freshies, but couldn't shred, as I couldn't see a thing. Yeah, that was kind of what was going on for us as well. Low visibility, and the cloud cover was moving around because this morning it was a little bit lower, and then as the day progressed, the cloud cover snuck up towards the Alpine. And this was the first day in about four days or so that they've opened up Seventh Heaven, which is the one of the Alpine areas on Blackcomb. So even though the snow has been a little bit funky, a little bit all over the place, still been accumulating out there. And so today Kevin and I went up and we traversed out towards Lakeside Bowl area and got some great snow. We kind of scouted it the first time, got some cool turns in. There's a nice big bowl at the top, and then there's kind of trees at the bottom. And then second run, we went over and did a double black diamond, which is my first double black diamond of the year. Although technically, it was actually quite simple. The snow was good, it was deep. We did kind of Big Bang, Couloir Extreme at the top of Blackcomb, and then down into Quasar. And then on the last lap, we went back out into Seventh Heaven, and then did an awesome lap, and kind of having just done it early in the day, we got some good sneaky batter lines. We got the goods. We got it. So yeah, it was a great day out there today. Even though the visibility was pretty funky, helped to have the low light goggles. Helped to be riding. Actually, it helped a lot to be riding with Kevin because there's a few points where I was just riding behind him and seeing the definition off of his brightly colored outfit. And there's another good reason why your buddy should ride with brightly colored clothes, because they light up things more. So yeah, he wasn't going full banana today though. He had the red jacket and cream pants, whatever it is. It worked a treat. Okay, and yeah, if you guys want to leave a like, that's awesome. If you want to throw in a super chat, that's awesome. If you want to subscribe, if you want to do a little dance, that's all good. Keegan saying, hi Chris, good to see you. What's your favorite pizza topping? It is pineapple. Pineapple is the best pizza topping ever, followed by anchovies. Kaz is here, good to have you here. Boredom saying it's still locked down in COVID high-risk area in the UK, desperate to get out on some snow somewhere. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the places in the UK are under their tier 3. So, yeah, I feel for you guys. It was really tough. Over the summer, we were kind of locked down over here, and we weren't doing anything outside because none of the first responders had any PPE, and so it was kind of like, don't go and do anything that would put you at risk. And basically for that whole summer, not really doing much at all. That was enough to send me loopy, and having snowboarding now is totally just changed everything. Snowboarding is the answer. I have decided to everything. Ask a question. Snowboarding is the answer. Yeah, so it sucks, and I hope you guys can get out soon. I know there's a lot of info coming out all over the place over there, but France has opened up they are opening up soon. No, they moved it forward, or they're doing it soon. Dang it, there's so much news coming out, but yeah, France is opening up. That's good, and hopefully it gets out to everybody else. Pastor saying, anyone check out Shredbot's video prospect episode 1 from earlier today? Some amazing footage. I did not get, sir. I was out snowboarding, and it was good. Cass is saying, how's COVID in Whistler? Is it buys as usual or dead in Whistler? Is it buys as usual? It's buys as usual. It's definitely quieter. So I would say and it's a different demographic as well. There's a lot of locals, a lot of people. I think we're still under this bit of a travel restriction, so there should only be people from Whistler and then the surrounding villages, towns. Squamish is quite a big one to the south and Pemberton to the north. But if you're down in Vancouver, you should be going to other resorts around there. Lots of people from there, of course, are coming up. But the demographic is more locals, more people that know the area, more people that know where the free parking is. Because I tell you, the free parking has never gone so fast as it does this year. And all the pay parking lasts forever. If you want to actually pay, you can basically park right under the gondola because nobody wants to pay for parking. It's hilarious. So if you I paid today because I went up, not super early, and all the free parking just gone instantly. And then you go pay parking. It's valet basically up to the front, and it's all good. In the villages, it's a little bit quieter going around. But on the mountain, it's definitely, I'd say about 30 to 40% quieter. And you notice as well because on certain days, you get like, on a nice day, everybody goes out towards like the good alpine ones in the sun, like Seventh Heaven or Harmony. The sun comes out, it's a nice day. Everybody flocks over there. But then the other lifts would still be kind of busy. Those, Harmony would be packed, just jammed, like New Beach. I'm just going to name a place. But then basically now, those other places are still, like Harmony is still quite busy. Things are obviously spaced out a little bit, so it gives it a bit of a different perception of the size of the line. But then once you go to the other lifts, they're like empty. And like uploading in Blackcomb at about 10:30, there was nobody there. Yeah, so it's quiet, but again, because everybody does have season, it's like weird too because you have restrictions going on, but then you have the reservation system as well. And so on a day like today when doesn't necessarily look very good, it's very overcast, it's wet in the village, it's raining in the village, snowing up near the top, and then in the middle of mid-mount is kind of a bit crummy. And so a lot of people having season passes might cancel those days, might only go up for a little bit. And so it's different needs of the people. Yeah, it's very much not just specifically like COVID restrictions, but it's a lot of different things kind of all going together to make it a bit of a weird, kind of surreal year. I swear, I feel often like I've been transported back to 1980s Whistler. It's great to be here for sure. La Dorada saying snowboarding equals 42. Thank you, La Dorada. I missed something because boredom stew or snowboarding at 42. Cookie Cracker say what's up, Chris? How's everybody doing? Yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's keeping it together. Snowboarding is the answer. Just keep saying that. Philip Herkel saying, do you know any good hacks to avoid some bugs with reservation system? Do you know any good hacks to avoid some bugs with the reservation system? So the reservation system generally will open up weekly. So if you guys don't know, all the Vail resorts go under this reservation system. It all goes through one website. So if you're in any of the Vail resorts, you need to go on this website, and all of the reservations open up at the same time, and they do a week that they open, and they open it up, before. They give you a little bit of lead time, but it's on the Wednesday at midday, and it's done on mountain time because that's the time that they use. But so one of the hacks being that you can get on the reservation, the lineup, an hour before, so when it says it's opening at, let's say, midday, you can get in the line at 11 and then get right at the line and then wait. You're not going to be doing anything anyway. Your phone can just kind of do whatever, and then you can hook up and get those. And then, I don't know, I've been doing pretty lucky because I was using my priority days, my high value ones that I can use ahead of time. that I book some weekends. I book the weekends ahead of time because those ones will just go faster. If like you miss out on the reservation Wednesday 12 o'clock and you get on there at 3 or 4, usually the weekend, Saturday and Sunday are gone. So if you can use your priority days, which is what I did for Adam's trip, use those days up ahead, and then I didn't bother reserving any of the weekdays because I knew I could reserve those the week of. Yeah, and you can send, like, I'm sure you guys know already, you don't have to sit and wait and look. You can just get them to send you an email. And I don't know, I've heard different things about people with the access time, because I've heard some angry people, I wouldn't necessarily call them angry, but disgruntled people talking about their 20-minute window was actually 10 minutes or something like that. But I have found that it's actually closer to about 30 minutes every time I've gone on. And then similarly, I'll like leave and come back just to kind of test it and mess with it. So I found it's been generous with the time. And then presumably, if you actually can talk to anybody, if you guys don't know, the CEO of Vail just came out in an open letter to apologize for the terrible customer service of Vail. So yeah, maybe if you just complain about the customer service, they'll give you stuff that you ask for. So that's another option. But then you actually have to get them on the phone in the first place, which is impossible. So it's a double-edged sword. Steve Zimmerman saying, awesome, caught the live chat. What is up, Chris? Steve, good to have you here. You made it. Shimon. Jose Edwards saying, do you recommend moving to British Columbia and living in Whistler? I mean, I'm here. I have a choice of places to be and people to see, and I'm in Whistler for some reason. It is a great town because you have the mountains, but you don't necessarily have to give up the city. I wouldn't say necessarily like that city connection, not the city life, because life up is different. But the city is, Vancouver is only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away to downtown. I mean, you're not going to go see any concerts at the moment, but you did have that connection of all of that, plus the people coming up here. It has a different vibe, I think, than if you were to go to like Revelstoke, somewhere on the Powder Highway. Maybe a little bit different when you get closer to Banff, but if you get down into like Redmount or some of these more resorts that are a bit more away from the big cities, they definitely have a little bit of a different vibe. So it's actually it's good for young people because there's a lot of energy. Oh gosh, everything's different this year. But yeah, it's usually good for young people because there's a lot of stuff going on. It's got a great nightlife, bar scene, the food scene's really good, and there's lots of other different things to do. So it is a very good, it is a very cool place to live. The cost of living is extremely high. That's one of the main downsides. And the weather can just be a little bit unpredictable compared to somewhere closer to the interior. When you hear about like that Champagne Powder or like the Rockies, and you thought the Rockies would be a little rockier. All of that is like Banff, Jasper, Revelstoke. That's that area. We are in the coastal mountains, east. Oh, it's always switched. This that side, but yeah, we're right next to the Pacific, and it's a little bit lower. It's a little bit milder. And we do get, like now, green trees outside with no snow on, but then snow up the mountain. So the snow quality is not as heavy, not as light as if you go into the interior. Yeah, I think it's tough because I do feel like sometimes I need that light, fluffy hookup, and we're gonna be as soon as everything comes down, hopefully heading over a little bit. Staying in the province, of course. Wouldn't want to leave the province of beautiful British Columbia over here. But plenty of resorts all over beautiful British Columbia. Kaz is saying Vail use the reservation system at Perisher in Australia. as crash test dummies, because that's what Australian people are good for. That sounds mean. I didn't mean that. Less Light saying, how do you land a snowboard on a pine tree? Okay, presumably, how do you land it on a pine tree? Either you're talking about the tippy top of a pine tree where it's flexible enough that you can just kind of, that's a tree, that's your board, you come along, you lift up your board, you get a little bit of love in there, you kind of ride it a little bit, and hopefully pop off the end. Or you have a deadfall, tree that's fallen over, it just happens to be lying perfectly for you guys to ride on your snowboard, and then you can hop and give it a ride. But otherwise, you want to land your snowboard on a pine tree, you want to do a jump, and then you have a single pine tree to land on. I think the important thing is to get a good line of momentum so that when you're landing on the pine tree, you're not zigging when the pine tree's zagging. You're going to have to keep your weight a little bit back. You're going to want to practice doing some 50-50s on some rails and look towards the end of the tree and visualize. Make sure you got your visualize and write it out. Philip's saying some people are going to look 6 days only, some 9. What the heck? Yeah, I will tell you this much. I feel like I should know how the reservation system works because I do videos like this. And so I've spent many a time just sitting and reading the different passes and the small print and all of the jargon. What is the difference between, when they got the core season and they got their priority days and their other days and their epic local pass, which isn't local if you're in Whistler, but it is if you're in Colorado. And then your own epic pass. I don't know. There's lots of weird stuff, and I'll tell you, I don't know anything more or less than I did at the start. It is super confusing. So good luck. Boredom is referencing the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the ultimate answer to life, the universe, and everything. 42. So good one. It's been a long time since I read that. It's a real. You guys should, if you guys want to eat. The reason I got given a Kindle by somebody as a present, and the only thing on there was all of the Hitchhiker Guide books. They're real easy, fun, easy read. You don't get bogged down and stuff, and yeah, it's great. Justin Vasey's in the house. Oh, whoa. I don't know what I'm doing there. Good to have you here, buddy. Hope everyone's holiday season is going well. Yeah, man. Kaz is saying my Australian comment was mean. Thought Aussies and Canadians had a special friendship. I'm just playing, that's why. It's... you're like being mean to somebody you like and you're poking them, and that's what it's like. I love you guys. I'm just playing with you. Tim Russell saying, why is Kevin about to release a video encouraging people to ride in the trees? Because riding in the trees is awesome. Why else? Because people are going to ride in the trees anyway. He's not going to stop people riding in the trees. I don't know. Kevin doesn't tell me what to do when I'm out there. If he says, hey, that doesn't look cool, but I think it does, I'm going to do it anyway, because I am the master of my domain. And yeah, I think especially with 2020 people, a lot of people don't really like getting told what to do. That's all that's happened the whole time. So if people are going to ride in the trees, then it's better to tell them how to safely ride in the trees and not hurt themselves. Saying just off the mountain, and the trees are extremely low tide. In my expert opinion, it's very dangerous and downright unrideable. Only the top couple hundred feet might have a dusting of ice. I was riding in the trees today. I guess it depends on what trees you're riding as well. If you're riding steep, technical, jangly trees, it's not so fun. Andres was riding in Khyber's trees and Million Dollar Ridge the last couple of days. Best powder board ever. Dude, Todd Anderson coming with the question. I would say the best powder board ever is probably the board Jesus rode down. No, I don't know. The best powder board that I've ever, the most utilitarian best powder board that I've liked has been the Gentem Stick XY. That board is awesome. The Nitro Canon is super fun, even though I didn't get to ride that in great powder. That one would have been good. The Storm Chaser, I used to really like this, but I've gotten to know its limitations, and it is good in some things, but not in others. So that's one of the problems. And you know, the Jones Solution is very much like the Flagship, and I did ride the Flagship. I like that one. Fish is good. The Burton Fish, Orca. Like, you know, not, you know, I wouldn't say extreme powder board per se. But yeah, I don't know. I think it depends really. It's like with anything, it just depends on what you want out of the board. And if you're looking for a big powder, you know, a big longer board to do more open bowls and big sweeping turns, that's one thing. If you're looking for something that's more in the trees, something that's more technical, lots of different things. But yeah, I don't know, Jones has always been good to me. The Dupraz, hello, hi. The Mountain Workers that I tried the other week, also for a couple of days, that one was a real fun board, just a nice surfy tail. I do lean towards the more surfy powder boards. I think it's really good. Kaz saying the Howard Stern of YouTube. Yeah, I'm a meanie. Justin Vasey saying master of my domain. Reminds me of Seinfeld. Yeah, I think that's where it's from. That's around the competition, right? Tim Russell saying true people can say and do what they like. Safety first. Have a great winter. Yeah, got to be safe out there for sure. Seen lots of ski patrol going around and taking people off the mountain, and you know, stopping and taking care of people with little ski crosses up on the hill. So you got to make sure you're careful out there, because yeah, it's a toughie. Todd Anderson, best groomer ever, the best groomer carver ever. I'm going to say John from Squamish. Again, I think the problem with the best groomer carver question ever is that a lot of boards aren't in a wide, and so for me, I have bigger feet. I get toe and heel drag on some boards, and there's just nothing I can do about it, and people tell me how great these boards are, and when I ride them, they suck because my feet were too big. So yeah, it's a real pain. But again, I actually really liked the Nitro Cannon because it's a 203 centimeter snowboard, and the effective edge on that thing is ginormous. So you have such an edge, such a long edge, where all of that pressure is going through. And so it's a lot smoother, it's a smooth ride. You can really lay out into it. You feel like the energy is being transferred through a lot of the edge rather than just a small amount. Because I know a lot of these, you know, like the Ride War Pig, and even, you know, a lot of these like the Storm Chaser or the 420 by Yes can be good carving boards, but you have such a small effective edge. The snow conditions have to be perfect. So when you have a giant effective edge, you can deal with the undulations a little bit better. How does Powder Highway snow compare to Colorado? Um, that's a good question. Those are two places I've not been recently. Although we did Revelstoke last year, and we didn't have any new fresh snow in 2 weeks. But I think that that's very much, it's that champagne powder. If you have a scale, there's my scale with, let's say, Whistler is pretty wet. It's down on the bottom of my scale. Japan, super dry, near the top of the scale. A powder highway, somewhere in here, and not probably leaning on this side. On the high side, Colorado I would assume is similar, although I don't know. I mean, up here you do have I don't think it's quite as high as a lot of the resorts in Colorado, but obviously we're a lot further north. Similar amounts of distance inland, same kind of range, same kind of super light fluffy snow, and it's just the consistency of the fluff. They get consistent fluff, we get occasional fluff and occasional chunk. So, yeah. Oh, if you guys have seen, don't go looking at the forecast for Niseko in Japan. But I was looking at buddy Tim is over there, and there was like 2.5 meters falling in like 4 days. That's a lot of feet. Justin saying big feet means big socks. Dude, well, the good thing now is that a lot of boards are doing wides and a lot of boards are moving, or companies making more of those short fat boards. So those lean towards people with the big feet. And I think boards in general are happier to go for like the niche markets of like big feet, like the Stump Ape or something like that, where it's just super wide, and they're happy putting out a board like that because they know people are gonna buy it. All right, Todd saying thanks, Chris. Keep up the gear reviews. Yeah, hopefully. This year's been a little bit different. Access to the store, Mr. Comore, where Andreas and I were doing our awesome 2020 board reviews last year, has been a little bit harder to get to. More regulations, more paperwork, more red tape, more tired Andreas. And this year more than any, he and I, but we're focusing on making sure that we can ride as much as possible, even though the board reviews they do really well and they do great for the channel, and they're my most popular videos, so I should do some more and get them up. But yeah, it's I just gotta convince Andreas to get in there and do it. But they're opening up later now than they used to, so yeah. It's just a bit trickier in 2020, getting them stuff done. Boredom Stew saying Merry Christmas, dude, with £5 super chat. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and everybody out there. And yeah, hopefully you guys get some Christmas treats and not some coal in the stocking this year with everything going on. I tell you, just hop up to the Pennines and go snowboarding there, or up into Snowdonia. Good luck getting into Scotland at the moment, though. That would be a tough one. Okay, Adam, who came out to flute with me. If you guys didn't see the flute trip that Adam and I did, you guys should definitely check it out. It is a fantastic experience, especially for somebody or people that are just looking to get into the backcountry or don't have too much experience, or looking to get back out into it again after being off for a year or two, because it's shorter, it's not super technical, still awesome. You definitely feel like you're getting away. Views are spectacular as long as the weather was, and we had a bluebird day the whole day, and that was amazing. And Adam, I'll get to his question, is saying, what's your favorite part of the recent flute experience? The journey from the village to flute, or the hike up? or the ride down, or the walk out, or the beer afterwards. You forgot that one. The cider, in my case, that was delicious. I think the hike up was the best. Because I know Adam didn't want to go on a hikey mission, and I wasn't really up for a mission, and we were just up for a little kind of Saturday evening cruise o'clock. And so we just took our time going up. The weather was the best you could possibly imagine. Blue skies everywhere. And it was still about -1, -2, so the snow, this much snow was great. And then there was just a death ice crust underneath, which unfortunately is just what's going on. It's actually much, much better now with the recent snow that we've had. But yeah, it was the hike up and the chilling out and the kind of, chatting to some other people on the way. It's just weird also just being out. And I feel like in that environment where we're hiking up, a lot of people are also in that kind of beginner area where there's not too many egos. And so it's all a lot just kind of, everybody's super happy to be out there just chatting to people that we didn't know about stuff. That was weird. We don't do that anymore. So that was fun. What was your favorite part, Adam? Throw that in there. Tim Russell is saying, have you tried a snow skate up? No, I was going to say yes, but up the mountain, no. But I have the old Burton one. There's a snow skate club in Squamish. What is going on with snow skate clubs this year? And if anybody knows, please throw some information in there. Because I know last year I was talking with them. I never followed through about getting to go snow skating up the mountain. And it would be cool. I've seen Austin Smith do it, and he's good at it, and he makes it look good. Learning maybe not so easy. Yeah, it's tricky, but it looks super cool. Todd Anderson coming in with a $25 super chat. Thank you, brother. Thanks, man. No question. Just sharing the love. I know that you're saying keep sharing the reviews. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. Ben here to said, have you done the AST2 course? I have not done the AST2 course. AST is Avalanche Survival Training, and so they come in. They do even do an intro course, but there's levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the level 1's pretty intro, like relatively pretty intro. They give you the core info, and you go out and you do some practical training and some tests and stuff like that. And then I think level 2 is where they get really the meat and potatoes. And yeah, I would definitely like to do my level 2. All right. Justin Vasey saying, do you think the name for Kyber's Pass was stolen from Star Wars? Those crystal power lightsabers? Maybe so. Maybe so. But this actually brings me onto a series, thank you for the segue, by the way, onto a series that Kevin and I were talking about just earlier, and referencing going on the Powder Highway and exploring some of what Whistler, what British Columbia has to offer, where we can travel around and we will go to different resorts, and then we will have the name of the video will be a pun on the resort with a movie title. So it's like you go to Golden, and it would be like The Golden Child, and that would be Kevin? Something? Boys in the Hood, right? Mount Hood. Okay, granted that's in Oregon. Might not work so well. My favorite was Weekend at Fernie's. And we go to Fernie. And there was another one. I can't remember. It wasn't about Red Mountain. Oh no, it wasn't about Empire of the Sun Peaks. So, Kyber's question, I think it must have been related to the Kyber's Pass in Nepal. There's a pass there, named by Mr. Kyber. Mr. Kyber, Mr. Komor hanging out over there and just naming passes in snowboard stores. I think that's how it worked. Todd saying, come on everybody, let's support Chris. Yo! Thanks, man. Adam saying, I enjoyed the walk out and how you explained Seventh Heaven and DOA. We got such a stellar view. Yeah, so DOA is on my list. We did not the actual main entrance, but the steepest run on Whistler Blackcomb, which is the Coolwar Extreme. That at the moment, because of the weather conditions, there hadn't been too many people in there, and actually it was very good. So, and I've been looking at DOA. DOA does mean dead on arrival, and it is a crazy, crazy shoot. It's almost like one of those ones, I'm sure you guys have seen if you've been watching random snowboard videos on the internet like myself, where you're basically in a rock chute channel, and in this case it's about maybe a kilometer long. It's very long, but it's not like some of the ones you see they're about 8 foot wide. This one's a lot wider, but it's very much, once you're in, you're committed, and so your risks, they jump up quite significantly in that type of environment. Yeah, but it is like the run to do in Whistler. Well, there's lots of runs, to be fair. I won't say any of that, but it's a run to do, an extreme run, and when you've done it, you are the most extreme person with the biggest home in the area, and you are amazing. Boredom Stew saying, it looks like the East Coast US is going to get a big dump soon. Can you travel or still restricted? We are still restricted. We are talking about spending less time at Christmas with less people you know and all of that stuff. So, yeah, just hanging out, like just not seeing anybody in my house and snowboarding. That's about it. Not traveling anywhere until after New Year's. I don't think so. Justin Bazie's saying weekend at Fernie's is fire. Provided you don't have any dance music going. Don't want the dancing uncle freaking all the skiers out. Of course. Yeah, we need to find Fernie, not a Bernie? I don't know how that would work. But anyway, if you haven't seen Weekend at Bernie's, excellent premise for a movie. Very much one born out of the 80s, where I think it's the rich, or, you know, they're not, well, no, the two kids go to visit their uncle, or it's a friend of the family that's rich and has this beach house, and then he has a heart attack, and instead of calling the medics, they decide, well, let's keep him alive by putting a hat on him with some sunglasses, and then have some stuff to move him around, and then we can throw loads of parties with the dead guy just chilling out over there. And lots of hijinks involved, as you might expect in any 80s movies. And I can't remember any of the people in it, so yeah, it is one of those kind of lost in time movies. Powder King Kong, oh yeah, nice. I like that. Yeah, if you can think of any other good ski mountain puns. There was a few others that I had as well. But I'll tell you, it's hard to think them up on the spot when you have your camera pointed right at your face. I was going to have a quick look. Yeah, almost hitting into Christmas week. Have you guys? It'll be interesting to hear if you guys have any plans coming up for Christmas. If you guys have any plans to go skiing. I know in the UK they are. You're not going to go skiing anywhere, I'm sure, but opening and closing with potential availabilities to go and see the families, and then not. And France is opening up. If you guys are out in Europe, it'd be good to hear how the resorts are doing out over there. And also in the US, it'd be good to hear if you guys have been skiing, if they've been busy, if they've been quiet, that type of stuff. Over here, yeah, it's been pretty quiet. I don't actually know how it's been doing down in on the North Shore with all those Vancouver ice, but I would assume it would be busier. But just the backcountry, the backcountry in general, gentlemen. I'm terrible with names. But Ben asking about the AST course. A lot of people doing backcountry. I definitely would say if you're gonna go into the backcountry, then do some courses and learn some stuff and go step by step, because when you're in the backcountry, it's like different rules over there. Like, nobody's really coming to save your butt. And if they are, they're going to take a long time potentially. And even, oh, hello. Just got a message. And even, yeah, you could be somewhere quite nearby. I actually was fortunate enough to find a gentleman that hurt his neck mountain biking, and we were about 600 meters from the bottom of the trail, relatively close, but the trail was very technical, and it took the ambulance, first responders, guys, about 4 to 5 hours to get him down that 600 meters, just due to the nature of the trail, where they were having to make harnesses with zip lines on certain like rock features and other bridge sections. Yeah, so yeah, if you're gonna go into the backcountry, then bring functional equipment, and do courses, and get involved in like a club, get involved with people that know more than you, and hang out with those people. I cannot recommend that enough. Adventure Carlo is going skiing at Brundage. Where's Brundage? Is that down somewhere in Idaho? Adventure Carlo was hanging out with L Stacker the other day. Big up the potato love coming your way. That's awesome. Matisse Code Crosby. So I'm going to Cypress because I'm pretty sure I can't go to Whistler because I live in Vancouver. Yeah, I think at the moment it is recommendations on the restrictions. I have talked to people that have, there's like there's stories about, it is in Idaho. Cool, Brundage. Yeah, like dudes getting the bus up here to go, not the public bus, but I guess it is the public, the Greyhound equivalent, to come up here to go snowboarding. Yeah. I'm sure people that come from a lot further afar than just Vancouver. But it wouldn't surprise me if people actually said where they were coming from to get here. I'm sure they would hear a lot of interesting answers, but none more interesting than right here from Alpine Meadows. I'm only about 8 minutes away from there. Cookie Cutter is saying he's going to Mountain Creek tomorrow in New Jersey. Sweet. We're going to get a snowstorm, hopefully a couple feet. Mountain Creek. I was trying to remember, because I was born in New Jersey, Morristown, that's it. If I could remember my birthplace. And then I grew up in the Mountain Lakes. So I was thinking Mountain Creek, Mountain Lakes. There's lots of creeky, lakesy stuff. But then I moved away from there when I was 14 months. So I don't really remember too much about old New Jersey. But that's sweet. Yeah, shred it up. Get a snowstorm, hopefully a couple feet. Dude, that's sweet. Blunt Cruise Chronicle saying I'm scared to go to Idaho with my Oregon tax. Tim Russell, tons of Quebec tourists this week. Yup. It used to be Action Park. Oh, it used to be Action Park. I've heard of Action Park. Oh yeah. They actually made that movie, well, not Jackass, but the guy from Jackass, he was in a movie that was a semi-fictional movie that was loosely based on Action Park, I think. But yes, I've heard of that. That sounds cool. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting some snow over here in Whistler soon. Moving around snow levels, I have found that recently, and just any time in general, it's not always a great idea to look too much at the actual forecast level, because you go to one website, it says this, You go to the other website, it says that. You go to the official Vail website, it says you're going to get 4 feet of snow. So it's usually, you can't really, look at anyone. It's just best to go out there and hope for the best, plan for the worst. That's what we got the other day with our super crust. I do feel like it was a Rush song, superconductor, but super crush. But yeah, it was just absolutely brutal. One of the worst crusts I've ever ridden on, and then only now, about a week later, we're actually starting to get over the crust. So it's been tough. It's been a tough crust. Action Point with Johnny. Oh, it is called Action Point with Johnny Knox. There you go. Oh, Vail. I love it. My favorite thing with Vail is when you get. I love Vail. Vail's the best. When you get a foot of snow and then a foot of rain, why wouldn't you say you got a foot of snow? And then you just forgot to mention you got a foot of rain on top. And then you just say it's super snowy. There's nothing, everybody does that. That's not just Vail. That's what good snow reporters do. Yeah. So they're always, it's like, I'm trying to think, a guy trying to sell his used car, he's always gonna, is that terrible analogies all going through my head, but they're always gonna give you the 6 of one and not the half a dozen of the other. Cool. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. Just coming up to 51 minutes. What is coming up in my life? I was talking in here about the idea of this video was about the perfect powder board or snowboard. That was kind of the focus, and I'm only 52 minutes in now, and I am actually gonna get to it. I've been looking around for something Tim Russell would not like. But it's a good board to ride around in the powder here. So it has been early season conditions. It is a little bit chunky, a little bit crusty, a lot of obstacles. And so certain powder boards, certain board shapes, certain flexes, a lot of things that go into a board work well in these conditions. And then if you have things kind of outside of that, it doesn't work so good. Specifically, I would say well, but I said good on purpose. Taking out the Storm Chaser, if you can see, these two guys. The nose on the Solution. Let me see if I can just look at that. All right, so it's not actually that much higher. It's a little bit higher. All right, but then the insert points are very different. So you have a ginormous nose relative to the shape of the board. You also have no turn up on it, and because of the 3D shape, because you have the spoon and a little bit of a curve, it doesn't create as much flexibility. You think of it like the front of a boat hull, where everything's all curved into one point. You create quite a rigid structure, and then on the back as well, not much tail. Not much tail, it's a flat tail, and you're in very tight, technical kind of trees where you want to zigzag through, you want to go back, I've gone the wrong way. That type of thing makes it extremely hard on this board. Also makes it extremely tiring as well. You just work in your body so much more. But then similarly today, Kevin came out to go do some rides and park on his Super DOA, and then I called him out into the powder, and so we were riding down 7th Heaven, Lakeside, and down through the trees at the bottom there. And so the powder was good, the higher trees were good, but then the lower, kind of crustier, chunky trees, that's when you want to have that big, long, floaty nose, because if anything starts to dip in there, it's not so much it catches your board, but it grabs your board and it pulls it down into the netherworld, and then you're gone, and maybe you come back, maybe you don't. No, you would of course generally be fine. There's a little crust under the surface, but yeah, it has that tendency just to grab and pull your board down into there. So you do, it's like, I think the board shape that really does uh, excel is the kind of mind expander shape where you have an extremely long nose, but also quite a blunted nose and more curve, a more workable nose, but a more workable tail, I think, really helps out as well. And then you can just kind of set it back and just ride a little kind of loose and goosey on the back foot and well, as loosey and goosey as you can, and cruise down that way. Yeah, who knows? So boards that I have been looking at, kind of as a stipend, would be the NM6 XY. I just kind of love that board. But the Tranny Finder from Kuro Shapes. I was looking at the Never Summer Swift. Yeah, I don't know if you guys. Oh, there's a nice arbor. Which arbor was it? The Arbor for Harbor. Yeah, if you guys know any interesting boards in there, then throw them out. I'm always interested in learning new boards and learning about new exciting board-related things. Osvaldo saying, "Hola todos, ¿cómo están? Estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Cómo estás usted? Have you? No. Yo puedo hablar español más en un otro día. Okay. Yeah, L-Stag is here. Yo, yo, yo. Coming out with the potatoes with the homies. Good to have you here. Are used boards okay? So this is coming in from Ryan. Are used boards? Used boards, there's nothing wrong with used boards. Generally speaking, I think it's like anything used. You can get an amazing used board at a great deal, and you can get an absolutely terrible board. But generally speaking, the board should hold up. There is, over time, things that can affect the wood, the rigidity. They usually will make boards a little stiffer over time, but that would take, kind of more than 5 years to affect the board. So really, if you're looking to buy a used board yourself, the main thing that you want to do is make sure that there's no severe damage to the edge of the board. So the easiest way to do that is just to look at it and just like rub your hand along it, nice and easy, and just feeling for any type of indentations or anything like that. And then just looking at the base and just making sure that the base there's no severe damage to the base, there's no big gouges, any type of inconsistencies, any type of possible water damage, big repairs, stuff like that. But especially like getting a used board is a great way to get a good board if you can't afford a good board. Because although entry-level boards are fantastic if you're at an entry-level skill level, when you start to get into more advanced skills, higher speeds, higher pressures, more forces going through the board, then you do want to get a better board, and so it's a good option to do that. Facebook Marketplace seems to be the place that everybody goes, but call me old school. I'm still on MySpace with my sales. L Stacker saying, well, no, you have to say pues leche de vaca is blanca. Kaz saying, yeah, I was thinking of a Never Summer board this off season, but only 2 stores in Oz and not my size available. That's kind of the problem that I'm in. I was talking with Kevin. He was saying that the guy that runs the competitor for underground tuning, the greatest tuners in Whistler, CSM, who it's a store down in Function, so it's technically out of the village, but he is amazing at repairs and repairing boards and also all of the tuning related things. And he rides an Air Summer Swift, and so that was, it's always interesting with someone that has a lot of boards that they get a lot of feedback from people. It's always good to get their opinion about things. And that's why it's similar with people that work in board shops. You know, they see a lot of people coming in and their experiences with snowboards, if they're good, bad, if they leave upset or happy and come back the next day. Yeah. Blunt Cruise Chronicles saying pretty set on a party wave. Nice, man. I've got huge feet. Fair enough. Yeah. Oh, TJ loves the party wave. I know this year he's riding the Goliath, I think. But yeah, he was riding the party wave last year, and he had only good things to say to me about it. So, are crab grab gloves overrated? Yeah, I know. I don't know. They seem to work. They're fine. I like them. Is that what you're talking about? I'm waxing my board right now, and I'm gonna go night riding. L-Stacker, keeping it fresh. Dude, I'm jealous. We don't get night riding over here, bro. We're just at the biggest resort in North America. What you need night riding for, man? You get all your runs in the daytime. We've wanted night riding. A lot of people have talked about night riding. It was actually in a plan once to get some night riding going, and no, they just brought David Hasselhoff in, and that was a kind of night rider reference. Yeah, I'm a little jealous. Any thoughts on the Captain Outer Space Living? I have not tried that, but Kevin, oh no, it's actually the horoscope. The horoscope and Space Living. No, but I'm looking to get a park board as well, and the Capita do make very solid park boards, very solid construction, which is always something to look for in a park board. You're gonna be banging it around a lot, and I've heard good things about the Outer Space Living, but nothing particular. Can you pray for snow for us in California? To Ular, one of the snow gods. I will soon. Joseph Patterson saying night riding is too icy. Dude, it just depends where you're going, bro. In Japan, which, you just go to Japan and you just go ice riding at ice. You go night riding in Japan because Japan's great snow. So you just fly over there in the afternoon and then just go night riding there and then just fly on back. Yeah, it's a little bit dependent on the snow conditions for sure. And if it's really icy, it's probably not going to be as fun. And, a little more dangerous and you're going to fall. And Tim Russell saying, bring back the black comb night pipe. Oh, dude, now you throw going back. I remember when they had the showcase showdowns up at the that's awesome. Crispin Liscombe coming in hot, and I can't remember what trick he was doing, but he's wearing a big McDonald's. He's hilarious too. He's a great rider. Sponsored by McDonald's sticker, like right on the front of his helmet, and just killing it. And Japan, and yeah, Blackcomb used to have a night pipe with lights, and they used to do competitions up there, and it's been just kind of sitting there for years now. Nothing happens to it. It looks sad. Blunt Chronicles is referring to something, pretty sure. The party rave, riding at night in the party wave. Of course. Word. Thomas is saying Japan? Hey! That was just the last place that I've been that has got night riding. And we were talking about night riding, so naturally go to Japan because it's also soft night riding, which is good. Steve's saying, I'd settle for riding day riding right now. On the snow? Mon the snow. Day or night riding would be fantastic. I tell you what. But night riding would be cool. And I've never, it's kind of weird. Night riding is just weird for me. I never done it. I never been. It's be like driving it if you never drive at night, and then someone's like, "Hey, go drive at night." You would think they were crazy. That's kind of how I am. Tony Towan is saying, "What is your favorite bindings?" I've gone through a few different ones. I used to ride a lot of the Burtons for years. They were good, and then had a couple different unions. And then in the moment on with the Now Drive, I would say that the last bindings that I really loved was the Burton P1s, which are really old, but they were fantastic, I remember at the time. But the Now, so I'm riding the Now Drives, which is kind of on Andreas from Comore's recommendation, which is the same binding